Israel has a military laser against enemy missiles for the first time. The conflict that erupted on the territory of Israel is escalating every day, and it's not surprising that a variety of ways are being used to cope with the aggression. Israel's preparing to use laser systems against missiles launched by Hamas militants. This is the world's first military use of laser weapons. Videos have already been posted online showing the new system in operation, and it's reported that it's already managed to shoot down an enemy shell. Will laser systems be able to outperform conventional air defense? Can lasers be used not only for defense but also for attack? What systems are in the service of Israel, and are they really capable of protecting civilians from the threat? The idea of using a directed laser beam against air targets has long been discussed by scientists in the military. Several things are attractive about it.
I say there are two advantages. One, the cost per kill, the recurrent is low, and the second is that there is no ammunition.
The first is the speed of flight. The laser beam reaches the target almost instantly, so there's no need for complex targeting systems. The laser system simply needs to be visually aimed at the target without any corrections for target movement. This applies not only to slow drones or helicopters, but also to highly maneuverable fighters or even hypersonic missiles. In any case, the light beam will follow the enemy and destroy it, as if it were easier than killing a mosquito. The second feature of lasers is their low cost. The cost of one laser shot is $3 to $4. Compare this with the hundreds of thousands of dollars that would have to be paid for the simplest anti-aircraft missile, and you'll realize how profitable it is to use energy weapons. For comparison, you can buy a meal at McDonald's for $3, or you can use it to protect an entire city from destruction. For example, a primitive Qassam rocket, which Arab militants fire at Israel, costs only a few $100s because of the quality of its assembly. At the same time, a Tamir anti-aircraft missile from the Iron Dome air defense system costs about $80,000. That is, if the enemy launches 100 of its missiles, it'll spend 500 times less money than it'll take to destroy them. With a laser, this arithmetic works in the opposite direction, and financial exhaustion will overtake the enemy faster. Finally, the third advantage is that laser systems are much more reliable than conventional air defense. As you can see, the same Iron Dome system has only 80% missile hit rate. Arab missiles repeatedly penetrated the defense and hit the cities. During Black Belt operation from November 12th to 21st, 2019, about 1,400 missiles were fired at Israel, and only 90% were intercepted. You can imagine the consequences of the remaining missiles.
I would say around 90% of the interceptions we wanted to make, we make. But still, there's too many rockets raining down here.
The fact is that one Iron Dome launcher has only 20 Tamir missiles, and after they're used, it takes several hours to reload them. At this time, it becomes defenseless. On the other hand, the laser shoots all the time and doesn't need recharging at all. All it needs is a source of electrical power, whether it's a power plant or just a generator, and a supply of fuel. Perhaps the last advantage of laser air defense worth mentioning is that the Iron Dome is poor at shooting down targets launched from a distance of less than 2 miles or flying quite low. For example, fighter jets and drones can easily enter the zone of inaccessibility of defense systems and cause enough damage. For a laser, hitting such targets is a very simple task, because its range of operation is from 3 feet to 6 miles.
If you push the button, your beam touches the rocket at the speed of light. But then it hit.
But what kind of laser weapons does Israel have? First of all, it's worth mentioning Iron Beam, which is currently the most common defense system. Iron Beam is a fiber optic laser that can capture targets at the speed of light at distances of up to 6 miles. It takes only 5 seconds to destroy missiles and mortar shells. Convenience also lies in the fact that Iron Beam is a mobile system, meaning that it can move independently at a speed of 37 miles per hour. This is enough time to move between danger points and provide protection exactly where it's needed. Unlike conventional air defense systems, which require at least 10 minutes to activate, Iron Beam can fire as soon as it arrives at the position. The latest version of the laser has a power of 100 kilowatts, so it's enough to destroy fighter jets by burning out their equipment. Surprisingly, the development of such a unique weapon did not require much money, only $1 billion. For example, the average cost of developing air defense systems is $25 billion. You might think that the Iron Beam has only advantages, but even this system has disadvantages. For example, it doesn't work well in poor visibility conditions, including heavy clouds, fog, or other adverse weather conditions.
The disadvantage. One is a short range, the other is the sensitivity to weather, and the third is the low kill rate.
Because of this, the Israeli Ministry of Defense decided to install the system on an aircraft, which would help overcome this limitation by placing the system high in the sky. Its power reaches 60 kilowatts, which is more than enough to destroy aircraft, shells, and missiles. At the same time, the distance of its attack is practically unlimited, as it depends only on how close the fighter can fly to the target. Israel currently has 2 aircraft in service that can carry this laser, the F-35 and the F-15. The first one is better for defense purposes because its speed is not high, only 1,200 miles per hour, but the second one can fly at a speed of over 1,900 miles per hour, which is almost a record for fighters. The F-15 can fly up to 3,400 miles, so it can reach almost any target with a laser.
The F-15 was very effective at sweeping them out of the sky, and if they had any airplanes, they weren't flying.
With the help of such a connection, Israel can destroy even long-range ballistic missiles. But what if the enemy's on the ground, not in the air? Is there a way to use laser weapons against enemy tanks and troops? Yes, there is such a way. Israeli Merkava tanks are quite a powerful weapon, as they're armed with a huge 120mm cannon and are the most armored tanks in the world. However, the developers decided that this was not enough and tried to equip them with laser systems similar to those installed on Abrams. This smaller version of the Iron Beam is not inferior in power to the version installed on fighter jets, but has a shorter range of only 3 miles. Nevertheless, this version copes not only with its initial defensive tasks, but can also be used as an offensive weapon. The fact is that the enemy equipment has obvious vulnerabilities, such as ammunition or technical equipment. Usually this equipment reacts extremely poorly to high temperatures, and the laser beam destroys targets by heating them up to thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. It's enough for Merkava to aim at a target, and the laser will immediately heat it up, and then either the equipment will fail or the shells in the warhead will detonate, tearing the equipment apart from the inside. It turns out to be a kind of long-range cumulative projectile that's impossible to defend against.
Its goal is to, as much as possible, intercept rockets which have...
With such weapons in its arsenal, Israel could completely abandon its conventional air defense systems, but currently the number of these weapons does not exceed several dozen systems. According to the Ministry of Defense, the Iron Beam laser in its smaller versions will now be used as a complement to the Iron Dome, providing reliable cover where it's needed most. And a full replacement of the equipment will take place as soon as there are enough laser systems. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching this far. We'd be extremely grateful if you'd subscribe to our channel and write in the comments your opinion about what you saw in this video. In the meantime, we wish you a good day. We'll see you soon.